Have you ever walked into a store, picked up something you buy all the time, and suddenly realized it costs more than last month? Maybe your morning tea, a carton of milk, or a tank of fuel. It's the same product, but somehow your money doesn't stretch as far as it used to. This is inflation, a silent force that affects every part of our lives. But what exactly is inflation, and why does it happen? More importantly, how does it shape the economy in ways that we may not even realize? Inflation is the gradual rise in the prices of goods and services over time. It means that the same amount of money buys fewer things than before. If you've ever heard your grandparents say, "Back in my day, a loaf of bread cost just a few cents." Over the years, the value of money decreases and prices rise. But inflation doesn't just affect the cost of groceries. It influences wages, business decisions, government policies, and even global trade. Imagine you own a small bakery. A year ago, the flour, sugar, and butter you needed to make bread cost much less. But today, those same ingredients are more expensive, and you have to pay your employees higher wages too. You either raise your prices, shrink your portions, or try to cut costs elsewhere. Now imagine this happening in every business: restaurants, clothing stores, tech companies. When the cost of production rises, businesses pass those costs on to consumers, and everything becomes more expensive. People feel the effects of inflation in different ways. If salaries don't increase at the same rate as prices, people struggle to afford the same lifestyle they once had. Someone saving money in a bank might find that over time, their savings lose value because what they could buy with that money last year is no longer possible today. On the other hand, people who invest in assets like real estate, gold, or stocks might benefit because these things tend to increase in value over time. Governments and central banks play a huge role in controlling inflation. One of the most common tools they use is adjusting interest rates. If inflation is rising too quickly, central banks increase interest rates, making it more expensive to borrow money. This slows down spending and investment, cooling off the economy. On the flip side, if inflation is too low or prices start falling, central banks may lower interest rates to encourage borrowing and spending. The goal is to keep inflation at a steady and manageable level, usually around 2% per year in most developed countries. But inflation isn't just a local issue. It affects the global economy. When one country experiences high inflation, its currency may lose value compared to others. This makes imported goods more expensive and affects international trade. Some countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe have faced extreme inflation, called hyperinflation, where prices skyrocketed so fast that people's life savings became worthless overnight. Of course, not all inflation is bad. In fact, a small amount is necessary for economic growth. If prices remain the same forever, businesses might be less motivated to grow, invest, or innovate. Moderate inflation encourages people to spend money rather than hoard it, which helps keep the economy moving. But when inflation becomes unpredictable or rises too quickly, it creates uncertainty, making it harder for businesses and individuals to plan for the future. So what can you do to protect yourself from inflation? One way is to be mindful of how you save and invest your money. Keeping all your savings in cash may not be the best option because inflation slowly erodes its value. Many people invest in assets like property, stocks, or even side businesses to keep up with rising costs. Another way is to stay informed about inflation trends, as understanding how prices are changing can help you make better financial decisions. Inflation is a force that touches everyone. It determines how much we pay for groceries, how businesses set their prices, and how governments manage economies. It's something we can't ignore because it directly affects our daily lives. Now let me ask you, have you noticed inflation affecting your own spending habits? Maybe you've had to cut back on certain luxuries or adjust your budget. Let's keep this conversation going. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on how the world around us works.
Got a question about how something really works? Drop it in the comments and we might cover your topic in our next video.